Gentlemen, welcome back to the University of Smooth. I'm your host, Nixon the Dark, the internet's leading expert on unattractive behavior. The Midwest is a battlefield. Love is a battlefield. Today, we're going to address a fundamental question that is always going to be on the mind of many of you men out there. What if it's all for nothing? We have established a roadmap that we loosely refer to as the male protector algorithm. Get jacked, learn game, convert your talent to clout. This roadmap is how you will build male value. But we are well aware that even if you do everything within your control to maximize your value, it may not solve sex for you. It's really hard. And some men have innate qualities and or learn some of these fundamental skills so well that they're really hard to compete with, and women are not here to give anybody a hand when it comes to desire. Desire is non-negotiable. Further, logistics are fundamentally stacked against men. You've been on dating apps. One of the reasons you may be here is because you know they don't work. You've tried to approach women at bars or out in public somewhere, and you know that's a real hit or miss proposition with a lot of risk in certain scenarios. Finally, we also recognize that this is an existential fuck crisis. 100% male sexlessness is a genuine, legitimate, though ignored, social problem that may lead to some very, very, very dark times ahead. There are plenty of cultural observers who are predicting a civil war or a bloody revolution within the next handful of years. None of this will surprise us. I won't say that we're expecting it, but it's not going to surprise us if things get really, really, really dark and the risk of violence starts to ratchet up even more than it already has. This is why we stick with the male protector algorithm. We stick with this roadmap. It is not just about being more attractive to women. It will absolutely make you more attractive to women, but that is not the fundamental purpose. It may be integrated with that fundamental purpose, but this is about your value. And if we are living through an extremely violent time on the horizon, the male protector algorithm, this roadmap is going to serve you well. Let's break it down a little bit. Get jacked, learn game, convert your talent to clout. Get jacked, it's a nice, funny little phrase that works well in our current climate, but all forms of male physicality fall under this. And I would even include learning how to handle yourself in combat. That includes perhaps knowing how to handle a firearm, and you may need to have that knowledge if things get more and more violent. Learn game, this is how you acquire attractive behaviors and shed unattractive behaviors. Game in its most stereotypical form is what you do and say to make yourself more desirable to women in terms of your social skills. It works exactly the same on men. The only difference is that you're not trying to escalate to a sexual encounter. I guess some of you guys might be, but that's a topic for another day. So learning game will help you build alliances with other men, even if access to women is still off the table. If things get really, really dark out there and you have to live through some violent threats, game will help you build the kind of alliances that you may need if the shit goes down. Finally, converting your talent to clout. Think of it in terms of pursuing your passion. This is why we fundamentally believe that this roadmap is also a search for meaning and is consistent with anybody's belief in a higher power. Converting your talent to clout is a nice little shorthand for pursuing your passion and hopefully, possibly, getting paid for it. Some of you men have probably been frozen out of legitimate opportunities in the corporate world. If that's the case, then converting your talent to clout may actually just be a practical decision. Some types of passions are going to be more attractive and more valuable than others in either the economy or the sexual marketplace, but if you do you and you find what those talents are and you make the most of them, it will serve you well in either a crisis or in the sexual marketplace. One more observation about what may be some really, really dark times ahead. This is something that's always there, just below the surface. Sometimes it's obvious, but we tend to ignore some of its implications. I have touched on it here and there on this channel, but this is a flat out, non-negotiable fact. Violence is existentially arousing to women. I want you to think about that when you ponder the threat of us reaching an existentially violent future. The more turbulent things get, the more arousing they are going to get. It is unavoidable. I don't know the full implications of that. All I know is that if there is massive, massive violence out there, it is going to be arousing because male survival value is intimately connected, pun intended, with hypergamy. You must be prepared. You must be prepared for dark times ahead. However you interpret that, all we have is a loose roadmap that will conform to your identity vis-a-vis your ability to build value. You build value in your own way. And this is also critical. This is why we want to make this point over and over again, that we recommend this not because this is just some way for you to qualify for female sexual approval. Your value is for you. Every ounce of value that you build through your efforts and through making the most of your circumstance and maybe getting a windfall somewhere along the way, it is all for you. And no matter what level of desire or attractiveness you achieve or receive from women, you get to keep that value. She gets to participate in it, you get to keep it, and it will serve you well no matter what happens in the future. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, throw a question or a little hate in the comments, and we may get to it. Take care.